watching that F5 team. No, it doesn't even say F5 anymore.
I wish I was playing 10 years ago because I'm pretty sure I would have got some 10k finish.
Mind your business.
A certain Egyptian king is being ignored.
Say Maximin. Oh my goodness. What's happening, people? We are back with another episode of Only One Bonus Point, a light take on the deep game. We're your hosts. My name is RJ.
I'm Law.
And I'm Ray.
Guys, how's it going, man? The Not season bad, is about to begin.
We're close, man. We're really, really close. And
I'm waiting.
I'm gonna lie to you guys, the tinkering starting to take over.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Tinker
You
man.
doing more than you should? More than...
Absolutely.
Man said Tinker man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like, I don't know, an idea pops in my head, and then rather than just thinking about it, I have to like change the team to see what it will look like, and then I like put it back to where it was before, and I just keep doing that over and over. Yeah.
I'm guessing we'll go on, Ray.
No. I think
No.
I think you were the last one that kind of created a draft. I think RJ and I had already kind of created a few by then, and you're like, haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah.
And now you're just rapid firing now.
Yeah,
catching up with
I'm
us.
making up for what I didn't do before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
In the last minute.
Yeah, man. Do you know what? I love this game. This is what happens. Like, everyone pretends that they don't take fantasy football that seriously, but when it comes to that, the last few days, this last week, that's when you really start to see, hold on, all the research that I've put into this team, do I really believe in it? Do I really trust it? Or I'm just gonna let Twitter and all the other noise take over? Yeah, that noise, Law. It's noise. It's noise.
There's a lot of it as well.
You have to believe in your source. But listen, guys, before we go into anything, I want to ask everybody, you know what? Because listen, I say it all the time. I ain't said it this season, but we are babies in this game. I want you to like and subscribe on the video. And you know what? Listen, if you look down there, going across the scene, you can see Law's handle, my handle, Ray's handle. Follow us on Twitter, and you can hit us up on our email, onlyonebonuspoint@gmail.com. You, man, what are we going into today, Ray?
Okay, so injuries affecting FPL because it's really changed the template a lot in the last week, I'd say.
Can I say it out quickly? Can I say it quickly? Jesus! Please. Jesus.
Yep.
I did, no pun intended. I really did not mean that.
Very good. You shouldn't have said anything.
Go on.
You ruined it.
Yeah, I did.
Next up,
go on.
New stoppage time rules. Very happy personally. And we'll go through all our current drafts, and then community questions. Very exciting.
Bringing it back.
And then whatever stuff that I'm sure we'll think about. You know how it is.
Short, sweet, and effective. Short, sweet, and effective. Just before the deadline. Yeah, should be a good episode.
Listen, we go into all these plans. We think, yes, this is the way to go. And then an injury comes out of nowhere. Jesus, I have to bring up because he's the biggest one. He was
the first main one, isn't it? Like he
was in everyone's draft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He was in everyone's draft. But for some reason, his don't really count. For me, it don't really count as an injury. It's an injury. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely an injury. But Arsenal, he mentioned that he had a niggle or something, and then all of a sudden Arsenal did surgery. Just like that. They just did surgery on his knee, but then he's going to be available because, you know, we thought it was going to be initially 6 weeks, but now they're saying he's going to be available for Palace.
Yeah. But I know your hands up, but sometimes that's the best way to go because I think sometimes teams make the mistake of letting players play through these niggling injuries, don't get the best performance out of them. Then all of a sudden it becomes a worse injury. So maybe you're better off doing it this way around. I think it's the right way around to do it. Like deal with the problem.
Right?
Yeah,
Michael
exactly.
Owen is one of the perfect examples.
Deal with the injuries like from as early as possible.
Michael Owen.
Oh, mate.
No.
Even R9. I never knew the history of R9's knee injury till I watched his documentary. Just doctors doing nonsense. They've ruined one of the greatest players ever. But yeah, everyone had him in his draft. Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah,
he was the
first template breaker.
He's going to be out for game week 1 minimum. I say game week 1, he's going to be benched game week 2 at least. Everyone's thinking what to do now. Do we bring in a completely different striker? Do we go to Nketiah? Do we go to Trossard? What do we do? Like,
well, the funny part of it is the segue into the next injury, because for me personally, the obvious replacement was Nkunku.
Mm.
And then they played their preseason friend. Then he got injured.
Yeah,
exactly. Because as soon as I had the Jesus injury, Nkunku was straight in my team straight away.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. See, for me, yeah, Nkunku was, the logical choice.
Yeah.
Just because of how good of a striker he is, but he's playing Liverpool.
Yeah, but then after that, their fixtures are much.
Yeah, but
but
that doesn't.
But then
Liverpool struggle to not concede chances. I wouldn't. That wouldn't scare me at all. Nkunku.
Liverpool struggle.
Yeah. Terrible English. Terrible 100%.
English. No, I get it, man.
Yeah, but I have no doubts about it. I thought it'd be a great fixture for Nkunku. Liverpool.
See, initially my thoughts went straight back to Wilson. It went straight back to Wilson because Wilson was the original person that I took Jesus out of because the effective ownership was so high. And now, guys, I need to know your thoughts because, the logical thing, the smart thing, anyone would say, all right, cool. If Jesus ain't playing, that means Nketiah is going to play. Do we bring Nketiah in with 5.5 million?
Well, he didn't start today, though, did he?
No, that's the thing. He played against. Against Monaco. Yeah, he played against Monaco, and during the game, at times he'd be on the left, Martinelli would be in the middle, and I fully expect him to start today. And I put a tweet out that if he starts against Man City, I think he'll definitely start against Forest, and then therefore he'd be a template breaker, and therefore people have money to maybe get to Salah easier.
Yeah.
But now that he didn't start today, I think it's more of you just get a second Arsenal midfielder if you want to go triple Arsenal.
Yeah.
And you can't even say Trossard.
No. The funny thing about it is I advocated more Martinelli than Jesus because I think Jesus is becoming a bit like our Firmino. He's becoming a great team player that allows Saka and Martinelli, aka what Salah and Mane was, to prosper, isn't it? So I actually always thought Martinelli was the better asset regarding hauls. And I think now a lot of people are going to jump onto him, but maybe also Ødegaard. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to see, even without Salah in drafts, I'm starting to see people go double Arsenal. And I'm wondering, is everyone just getting a bit excited? Because, I don't know, there are other players like
for me, it's the excitement, man. There's two type of drafts I do not like. I do not like the double Arsenal midfield, and I do not like the double United midfield. I just don't like them. They don't look good, and they just spell trouble for me. That's
interesting. Why's that?
All right, so you got the Saka Martinelli. Martinelli is the one that's going to suffer if it comes to minutes or time, and that's going to be with Trossard or Jesus. The fact that it's two players is already a problem, and then let's throw Nketiah into the mix. So there's three players that's going to cause his position problems. Saka is going to play. Saka's not going to be suffering minutes. Saka might come off at the 70th minute, 75th minute, but he's not going to suffer from the changes and how our squad rotates. Havertz as well.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like this all affects Martinelli. Sometimes it may affect Ødegaard, but most of the time it's going to affect Martinelli and his position and probably Jesus. And when we move on to the United mix, it's not as bad. I'll be very honest. It's just the pricing. 9 million, 8.5 on those two. I feel like you really just got to not gamble. You got to pick one and go with that. I'd rather, I prefer Rashford and Garnacho or a Bruno Fernandes and a Garnacho because Garnacho looks sick and he's what? How much is he? 5? 6?
5. You're right.
But to have them both, I don't see them both hauling in a game.
So you don't like the eggs in one basket technique, basically. You want to spread it around.
Not right now. It's too early in the season to.
It's not even too early. It's the season hasn't even started, and guys are like, yeah, they're gonna get all the points. We don't know yet. It's I'd say you'd rather spread it around with the players that you know are gonna get all the minutes, and the ones that put the most that have the most influence in the game. Like I'd rather bring in Maddison, and I don't know how Maddison plays with Tottenham, rather than have 2 United or 2 Arsenal. It just doesn't make sense yet because Arteta can mash you up. He played with freaking Pep. He played roulette with him all season when they were together. So why would you even try gamble on it? I don't think it's the right time. It may come as a point where, yeah, to have both of them would make sense because that was last season. We had 2 Arsenal, we had 2 United at some point, but not yet. I just think it's too soon.
Yeah, I kind of go along with that. I don't think I've had a draft. Well, no. So I had a triple Arsenal, obviously, when Jesus was fit. But since then, I've only had the 2, 1 defender, 1 midfielder. And I don't think from the beginning I've had double United attack. I've only ever had one of either Bruno or Rashford. So I think I'm on the same ilk of not putting my eggs in one basket at the beginning of the season.
I just think there's so much more you could do with other teams rather than force it. Because look, we've got Nottingham Forest, Palace, Fulham. Cool. Then United, Everton, Spurs. Do I want 2 midfielders against Spurs? Do I want 2 midfielders against United?
That's where but that's where the transfers come in, isn't it? That's where the role transfers come in. It's interesting you guys say that because I'm the opposite.
What? Go for it.
I'm treating it 1 to 5 as a sprint, and it's just that I want to get all the best players initially, and then sub accordingly. Because after the first couple of games, I like how Spurs look, and then it's easy to maybe take out a Martinelli for Maddison, or maybe Eze, for example, or Chelsea's obvious fixtures. I think one of their midfielders will probably like pop out after the fixtures start to turn really nicely. Even though I love Chelsea's fixtures to start with, to be honest with you, that I can see what you guys are saying. I definitely see that side, but I think Arsenal are the 2nd best team in the league, and I think Man U are probably 3rd or 4th best team in the league. And I look at the fixtures, and I think what helped me last season was when I started to attack fixtures rather than look at the form, it was helping me. And I think that's how I'll start the season. I think we're going to create a lot of opportunities, and I think Man U will as well.
It makes sense in when you put it in fixtures versus form, because you don't have any form to go off. You only have fixtures, right? So you're just attacking what you have.
However, having a sprinkle of a Maddison or a Son or hey, where did KDB come from kind of thing, or even Liverpool as, with Salah, for example. I think when you're spreading your bets a bit more, it's very wise as well. Because you're right, if Arsenal only beat Palace 1-0 and if Man U only beat Tottenham 1-0, 4 of your attackers are in those games. I can see completely what you guys are saying. There's logic there, definitely.
Saying about injuries, but I just need to ask, Law, how do you feel? What's going on with Kane if he goes? Because now it's starting to heat up a little bit. Are you still back in the Son shout?
No, from what I've seen in pre-season, it would be Richarlison, Son on the wing. Yeah. That was more my preference than what will actually happen. But then leading into injuries, Richarlison wasn't in the squad today because he's got a knock. So even that could change. Don't know how that would line up. So, but apparently he'll be back pretty quickly. They reckon he'll be back for the start of the season, so it might not be a big deal. But yeah, I think if Kane was to leave, it would be Richarlison in the middle.
I watched Maddison the first half, and I thought Maddison looked excellent. He looked very comfortable.
Fantastic. Yeah, he looked fantastic actually.
He looked like the creator, and Son was what I saw was quite wide.
Yeah, all the time. Son and Kulu play really. I think it actually FPL wise, the way Ange plays makes them weaker FPL wise because they keep the width and allow the 8s to occupy the middle and get in the box. And Maddison's probably more likely to get returns than Son. Just in that scenario, yeah.
Mad.
Just Son always wide. Him and Kulu both just wide, making as much space in the middle as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So from the templates, there was another, as we mentioned earlier, there was Nkunku, who was another player that was brought up quite a lot. With his injury now, are we more interested in Jackson now? Because to me, he was an amazing player from the couple games I've seen him in. Yeah. But can he lead the line? Can he get us those points? He's 7 million in the game.
If they don't sign another striker, because there's talks of them being in for Vlahovic now as well.
Vlahovic, yeah.
If they don't sign another striker, then I can't imagine anyone else other than Jackson needing the line.
How much you think they get? Will put Vlahovic in the game for if he comes? Pause.
7.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I can't
around
play.
in Cuckoo's price, maybe 8, maybe like the Watkins sort of price, maybe 8.
Oh, you said Watkins. So no one's been tempted by Ollie Watkins at all.
Yeah, absolutely tempted.
Spoiler. Spoiler.
I know he missed the pen.
No, yeah, absolutely tempted by Watkins. Yeah, he hasn't found his way into my team yet, but it's definitely a consideration. Yeah. The other injury that's messed people up as well is Bremu. He was in a lot of teams, and he turned up with a knock. Is it just a knock, or is it
I think it was just a dead leg.
Weeks?
That's what I read.
Yeah.
I read just a dead leg.
I didn't know he was injured.
Just a dead
Yeah,
leg.
I don't know how serious. I don't think it's serious though. That's the thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mad.
Frank was pretty relaxed. Thomas Frank.
Yeah. Just another one. Just putting question marks out there, isn't it? Just another one.
Yeah.
All the template players.
Yeah, exactly.
Having said that, boys, I know we've got still a few days, and I know we're gonna tinker. I know it's hard to just say, yeah, this is what I'm going for. But what's our team saying?
You're jumping ahead, aren't we? Going into this injury time rule. You're eager, innit? You want to see everything.
Oh no, I want to see your teams, bro. I want to see your teams. But it's fine.
Let's do it.
It's fine. No,
Let's
fine.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
No. Let's go straight into it. I like it.
That's me. Oh, that's not me.
Right. So,
Ray.
The first one is me,
mine.
sir. No, the first one is me. So, for those who'll be listening on audio, I've got Edison. I slapped myself in the face. Estepinian, Gabriel, Chilwell, Mbuemo, Bruno, Martinelli, Rashford, Saka, Haaland, and Watkins. The bench is Areola, Baldock, Kabore, Mubama. So there's like nothing in the bench. And nothing in the bank. What are you guys saying?
Ray, I'll be very real. I like your team, yeah, but I just don't understand why you'd spend all that money on your goalkeeper. You could save so much money. I say so much. You can have either 0.5 or $1 million in the bank without changing anyone except your keeper. Like if you had stealing, you've got $1 million in the bank and your team is exactly the same.
But yeah.
So I changed it last minute. I changed it last minute for Monana because you go into the season with one City asset, you're not gaining.
I understand that completely. Yeah,
but on the flip side, you don't know who's going to start. Apart from Edison, I think. In the Premier League.
Yeah. Seeing Ortega today must have made you feel away a little bit as well, isn't it?
The Foden one, because I was really getting excited by Foden, but yeah.
I think with Ortega starting, I think you're good. Yeah, it's champion charity.
Yeah.
I tinkered with Edison as well because
really.
Yeah, because I didn't want Stones, and I was in the exact same position as Ray. What Ray said is, I didn't want Stones, but I didn't want one City asset. And then when I was looking at all the others, I'm like, there's only one that I know is going to play, or two, Haaland and Edison. So he's not in my team right now, but I've definitely looked at whether I should have Edison in if I'm not playing with Stones.
The other thing the other thing I thought of and I want to share with you guys is that I go to a 4-4-2. I drop Mbuemo to a 4.5 like Anderson, who's starting all these games for Newcastle, by the way. And then make Baldock into Stones, and then make Edison into Onana. So what that team would read is Onana, Estupinian, Gabriel, Chilwell, Stones, stack defense, and then Bruno, Rashford, Martinelli, Saka, Haaland, and Watkins. So it's a 4-4-2, but it's basically, let's just say it was Onana rather than Edison here. It's basically Stones versus Mbuemo. Throughout the whole season, I do feel Stones will get more points, but again, you can't treat it as the whole season.
You've got to add to that. You still have money in the bank as well, right? With that team.
Oh man, tons. 1 to 1.5.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, last season we saw very openly, no matter how good City are, they concede.
and
Yeah.
Edison was not a great pick. Not because he's a bad keeper, but in terms of FPL, it just wasn't necessary. And
I don't know.
a team like United,
I think he might be a bad goalie because his conceded goals was well beyond what it should have been.
yeah, but is it because of him or because this way City?
No, the
You
shots
know,
conceded.
they scored-
He conceded 5 more than he should have when they did the goalkeeper stats. He was in the bottom 5 of the Premier League last season.
Mad. Well, I don't think he's a bad keeper. I'll be honest. I don't think he's a bad keeper. I'd rather him than a lot of other keepers. It's just for 5.5. If you can get Onana at 5 million, because United generally are quite solid.
Yeah,
They don't defensively. They don't score. They don't concede a lot of goals. As much as I hate to say it, or if you go to someone like Steele, who's 4.5 million, who's so cheap,
second,
and then they've got all the games that you want. You've got Luton, Wolves, and West Ham. The upside is so much more, and then you have money in the bank. It makes sense. I just feel like you're wasting money, not players. Does that make sense? Like I feel like you have money in the bank without Henderson there. But other than that, yeah, your draft, I like it, man.
Yeah, I like it.
I literally like everything apart from Edison.
And I prefer the 3 at the back instead of the 4 array. Because another thing I was looking at was when I had a 4 at the back, I didn't like any 4.5s, which means that the amount of money you're spending in defense, it just felt like it was way too much compared to like the amount of attacking players you can get. So I ended up switching to a 3 at the back as well, based on that as well. So I really like 3 at the back.
Totally fair.
Okay.
Watkins is the choice now.
Yeah.
If it was 8 million.
Yeah, I think he's as a forward option that I left. he's the best pick.
Awesome. All right, next up is Law. Law, if you could please read out your team, sir.
Yeah, so in defense, I've got Onana in goal, Stupinan, Gabriel, and Chilwell. In midfield, I have Salah, Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Eze, and Maddison. Up front, Haaland and João Pedro. Defense, I've got Areola, Bell, Trusty, and I forgot his name. The West Ham striker that's been playing all the games.
Mubama.
So yeah, this is kind of my differential team, to be honest. 3 picks. My biggest risk, I think, is João Pedro and his expected minutes. Yeah, that's the biggest risk. The other option I had was to bring Maddison down and then put João Pedro up to Watkins and play with a 4-4-2 instead. But like I said, I didn't like the 4 in defense, so that's why I kind of switched to this. But it's João Pedro. It's whether I can hold my nerve and stick with him or not.
All right, so for me, the first is weird. Like the weird order that I've pictured your team. The first thing that stands out to me is Trusty at Sheffield United at 4 million. I feel like most people need to get that because he's going.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys about him because I didn't know much about him, but I knew they bought him to start him, so I was just like, it makes sense.
For me, Arsenal, I'm a bit surprised we sold him, but I'm not surprised at all because he wasn't like a standout, amazing player. But I feel like the amount that they put up for him, it just made sense to sell him. But he was Birmingham City's player of the season, and you know they don't give that lightly. So I mean, to get him in at 4 million, that's actually, I didn't think it was already sorted on the game. That's one person I'll be switching into my 4 million defenders. He's going to play every game, I think. So that's an amazing shot, and that automatically frees you up money. I love your Eze shout. And you got Salah in the game. I don't like Maddison. I don't. But it's only because of his injuries. It's not because of his ability.
Yeah.
Because you've got him in. To be fair, you've got a few places you can go. You can go to Foden. You can go to Grealish.
Diaz,
Toma, March, Diaz. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of room to move around.
It's not that bad a shot. There's no place you can go with it, really, to be honest.
It's amazing how much your squad opens up when you just have one Arsenal attacker and one United attacker, isn't it? Man United attacker. There's so much you can do. I mean, obviously getting Salah, of course,
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you can accept that it's a roll of the dice and you just hope he pops up on the roulette table, you know, then you just go with it, which I like. But what I've seen with this exact kind of structure is rather than João Pedro, they'll go for Stones and play a 4-5-1.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it, if you know what I mean. Like I don't hate that, as long as you have one playing sub but isn't a defender, because I just hate the idea of ever having to play 5 at the back this season. So what I mean by that is, what I've seen is someone's gone João Pedro to Stones, and let's say you brought Maddison down to Mbeumo, for example.
Yeah.
And then you can make Mubama to Adebayo, a guy you know is going to start every game. Or Vinicius, not Vinicius, because I hate Vinicius. But, you know, someone like Adebayo, you know they're going to score, and they're ready to come on to the pitch for you if the likes of Stones is unavailable. Do you know what I mean? And when you see the 4-5-1, it actually looks really nice if you just look at 1 to 11, but the bench is dead.
Well, to be fair, the bench is dead in most teams this year. No one's really gone first stacked. But I've not seen drafts with like major, apart from some people have like Chilwell first sub, but
which I hate, by the way.
Yeah, it's not for me either. Because when I do a draft like that, I'm just like, I really should just use that money on the starting
somewhere else,
and then just moving it. I just end up moving it anyway. Yeah. So.
4.5 defender max. I mean, RJ, what are your thoughts on like a 4-5-1? This is strictly for Salah and Haaland, is my question.
I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest. I understand. I fully understand the reasoning, but it's just, I'm sure there's a striker out there who's going to be, you know, in the midst of all the goals rather than adding it in the midfield.
It won't be in defense, isn't it?
Defense. Yeah. I just, because do you know how hard it is to keep a clean sheet in the Premier League?
Especially at the beginning of the season, it seems to be when the most goals.
If we're talking about attacking returns, that means basically you've got to have all fullbacks. But we've got Gabriel. Everyone seems to have Gabriel in the team as well.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Really iffy about that, by the way.
The only reason I have that is because of the ownership. Like, I'd rather go for one of your fullbacks rather than Gabriel.
I'm so happy you mentioned that. Is that I'm trying to work out why I have an Arsenal defender in my team. I'm literally trying to work it out.
For me, go on.
Yeah, no, because defensively, I mean, today was different level. I thought we were really good today, actually. But when we play against the teams that won't be, well, who is as good as Man City,
coming at us,
but won't be as expansive, I feel like I don't know. Is it naivety or ignorance that comes into our defense because we keep conceding stupid goals? And
naivety,
unfortunately, you know,
that also
do we have Gabriel?
That also came with the pressure that was on you at the end of last season, because at the beginning of the season, defensively, you guys were really strong.
Saliba.
And Saliba as well.
Yeah. Listen, I did it last season. Gabriel looks great. He's been playing well, but he looks so good next to Saliba. Saliba is, if there's ever an issue in defense, he's the one that covers it. That's why, look, I don't know if you remember, I had Saliba in the beginning of the season, most of the season.
Yeah, I remember,
And he kept getting, all he did was get bonus points as a centre back. And that's because he's always the one to get a clearance. He's always the one to put in that last tackle. So for me, I don't understand. Like, everyone put Gabriel in because of his goal threats. Like, I get it. I 100% get it. But for me, if I'm going to put a centre back, for me, it's going to be Saliba.
Yeah, but I think
bonus points. I feel like he's getting 1 or 2 bonus points every single game.
But as you say, that
distribution is better than Gabriel's as well, and that's why.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, like stats wise, I've seen is that it's actually Gabriel who's more likely to get bonus points than Saliba. in your team, like over the last season. Obviously, Saliba didn't play as much as Gabriel, but maybe that's the counting factor. But over last season, Gabriel was more likely to get bonus points than Saliba.
Bonus points or goals?
Bonus points.
No bonus points. I can understand
But
why.
Saliba did get the bonus points.
I think it might be because
If
of
you
the
talk about the
threat of
games
the
where they're
goals.
actually playing, Saliba got the bonus points, and it was defensive because Saliba wasn't, apart from his banger against Bournemouth. I never really thought, oh yeah, he's gonna score a header, or he just missed this, he just missed that. Most of the time, it was just covering the defense. He's everywhere you need him to be in the defense. So for me, if you're gonna go for a centre back, I'd rather go for Saliba. Seriously, he's a Rolls Royce.
I think no, but I can
quote,
see what Law's
Zinchenko.
yeah. I can see what Law's saying though, because I think his expected points was apparently supposed to be higher from an attacking point of view, and that's probably calculated into expected bonus points as well. But I agree with you. If he's not going to be Saliba's also defensive, he's also an attacking threat as well. You know, if he hadn't got injured last season, I'm interested to see how many more he would have added. And after today's performance, RJ, I'm thinking maybe let me throw Saliba in there for a day rather than Gabriel and see how I feel.
See, I'll slide in between the both of you. I still think Gabriel is a more attacking threat in terms of goals. Because don't forget, yes, Saliba got injured, but he only got injured in the last 10 games, 8 games, 7 games. It wasn't that many games that he was injured. It was just how crucial of a time he got injured that it affected our season. But in terms of goal threat, yes, Gabriel is 100% more of the threat. Saliba gets his bonus points purely on his defensive assets. It's got nothing to do with him attacking our goal. It's got nothing to do with him providing an assist. Seriously, he's just so good defensively that, because bonus points are calculated on everything. Touches on the ball, tackles, clearances, one headers. Like, do you know what I mean? It's on everything. And Saliba is that guy.
I've done some quick research. I've done some quick live research. So Saliba got 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah.
On the bonus points system, he had a total of 571. And then that equated to 14 bonus points. Then for Gabriel, he got 3 goals. Bonus point system, he was 723. So 200 higher than Saliba and got 15 bonus points overall. So he got more bonus points and was expected to get more bonus points. And they had a similar...
games?
So
yeah, you only got
Gabriel
1 bonus point more though.
3,400 minutes, and Saliba played 1,000 more minutes.
But then only one more goal.
One more bonus point, but on the bonus point system, he was much higher. So he's expected to get more bonus points.
So he only.
I think that's the reason people are going for Gabriel over Saliba. Based on the data, he is more likely to get bonus points than Saliba.
I like it. I haven't gone for either, to be honest. Yep.
I just can't draw. Go ahead, buddy.
Yep. So for the benefit of the guys listening on the pod or on the audio, I've got Steele in defense. I've got Estepinian. I've got Stones, and I have gone Julian Timber for Arsenal. I've got Mitoma, Fernandez, Saka, and I brought in the big man Mo Salah, Isaac, Haaland, and Morris. And I've got 4-star Chukwuemeka. How do you pronounce his name?
Chukwuemeka,
Bell, and Kabore, which Kabore is going to turn into Trusty. It's just an easy move. But yeah, 0.5 in the bank, projected 61 points, as you can see by Draft Hound. 69 minutes overall average and 24% ownership. I like it. I'm actually very happy with this draft. I do not see me moving off it much.
Thoughts, I have to give you your flowers regarding Timber, because you've had him in there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so good.
Before the hype.
So good. He's so good, man.
We put the graphic up, you spoke about him and stuff like that. So yeah, kudos to you with this one, man, because he's in the first team, but in the first team very differently than I predicted. I thought it would be Wright, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel. I thought that would be our 4, but it just looked fantastic. So yeah, and It's his spot, right? In my opinion,
Yeah.
it's his spot. His spot to lose.
Where's
I
he
feel
playing?
like,
Is it right back or left back?
bro,
Left back inverted.
so it's dangerous. So what I've seen is Arteta doesn't want to drop him no matter what. So he's trying to play Ben White as well, but he's making sure Timber is in this team. Originally, we thought Timber playing right centre back or right back and inverting. But what's happening now, he's playing right centre back, or he's playing right back, or he's playing left back, inverting. So he plays him left back so that Ben White can play. And that's what he did today. And bro, the guy is so good. He's so good on the ball. Bro, I saw it live. So now I can back up everything I saw like on YouTube and the highlights and stuff. He is really good. And Draft Hound have updated their expected points because originally, I don't know if you guys remember when I had the team
0,
on,
0, 0.
it was all 0-0-0. It was affected the expected points. So now it's saying 61. Before it was 58, 57 because Timber was on a 0, even though he was in my team. So now I still think like the data, you can't argue with the data. You can't. But I know that's going to be more. Like I see Timber getting a 6, a 7, or an 8 against Nottingham Forest. Easy. But
yeah, there's a return
his attacking threat is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I like that track because as I said, I'm not 100% happy with having a centre back as one of my 3 defenders. I'd rather it be a fullback than a centre back.
Yeah,
so
No,
definitely. Are you concerned that when Zinchenko comes back fit, his minutes are not necessarily he's not going to start, but you could see him getting subbed in the game?
No, I feel like the way the Arteta has put him into left, the fact that he's using him as a left centre back, we've got Tierney, a left back, and we've got Tierney and Zinchenko. And instead of like, it's like, do you remember?
Is Zinchenko fit?
He
played the charity game, but he's not fit.
He's not fit because I don't think, because that wasn't serious, and he wasn't. I don't think he's going all out, but I don't think he's completely fit. But the fact that Arteta is going to use him on the left rather than use Kyria or Tierney, it tells me he doesn't want to drop Timber. Like he wants Timber to get as many minutes as he can, and he wants to play him. My only thing is that Timber probably will have moments in the center as a center back, which attacking threat goes away.
Yeah.
But for me, he's playing. So I'd rather see him on the right, inverted, with Tierney playing on the left as a left back. But all the options.
That's an interesting question. What's your first? Everyone's fit. What's your thought at the back, RJ? Forget opposition, anything like that.
Everyone's fit.
Yep.
Mine's controversial. I'll start with the right. So right back, Timber, then Saliba, then Gabriel, Kyria as a left centre back. I really like Kyria. Kyria's touch, his ability on the ball is amazing. And if we've got Timber on, we don't need Zinchenko. And if we've got Kyria, we don't need Tierney. Because one, he's faster than Tierney. And I wouldn't say he's more defensive than Tierney because Tierney's a very good defender. But he's just as, if not as good as him as a defender. So for me, what's going to happen usually is probably Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. And then
we got 8 good defenders. That's what it is. And that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
You both have Salah. Is it against Bournemouth you're going to captain him? Is it just like,
that's my plan.
This is why I bought him in. This is why I got him.
100%.
Exactly, yeah. And I think also there's another reason as well, is it's easier to get to the other 2 assets. So if KDB's on fire, I can go Salah to KDB easy. And if Kane stays and is on fire, I can get to Kane. I can have the money to get to Kane quite easily as well.
Yeah.
So that was another reason I've gone with Salah at the beginning. And their fixtures at the beginning, attacking-wise, are good as well.
I think we realized it on the last episode. It's just that it just makes sense to work your way down rather than work your way up with Salah.
Exactly, yeah.
And to be honest, like if I look at that team, bro, I don't think I'm lacking anything in this team. I've got one I say one, but really it's two differentials with Morris and Timber. But really,
And Isak.
And Isak's definitely a
Isak,
differential.
Isak's a differential, and it's not a dangerous differential.
No.
And I've still got 0.5 in the bank, so for me,
You could go to Watkins if you want.
Yeah.
If you want.
if
So,
I wanted, yeah. Thoughts, guys?
Salah,
on my
I
team?
mean, I think both your teams are good, just and different as well. Obviously,
We're not talking about Lord's
Yeah.
team. We're talking about my team now. I'm asking for your opinions on
So
my
with
team,
Salah,
brother.
okay.
Why are you talking about law? Gosh. He didn't do that on yours. He was just talking about yours. Now he's like, both of yours.
Yeah, seniors.
Raggle,
Let's calm down. Let's all calm down.
Raggle,
Let's all calm
raggle.
down.
What do you say?
I said you're just
Raggle.
raggle.
Don't make me start. Listen, I
Sounds
will start
racist.
my rant.
No, it wasn't, but it sounded it.
Oh my god.
So with Salah, a lot of just on Twitter, I'm like, oh yeah, by game week 4, I'll use Salah to go to KDB, or for example, I'm like, well, hold on, if he's performing, there's absolutely no need to remove him whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't have to force it. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys aren't like kind of booking in any transfers. You're just thinking, no, if Salah's banging it, I'll just keep him.
Exactly. While everyone else is chasing to get him, I already have him. And if Salah's not and he's off, it's just so easy for me to go whoever is hot.
Bro, it's not even so easy. I can get anyone I want.
Yeah.
Get anyone I want. It's not even. It's not about easy. I can do what I want with. If I have Salah, I've got 12.5 million. 12 million. I can get Odegaard and I can get KDB and have change. Like it's easy, brother. It's yeah. I don't understand why you would go against him right now, because no matter how bad Liverpool have been or how good they're going to be, both scenarios Salah's going to be about. He's definitely going to be, and I just don't see anyone really not being shook at that Bournemouth game.
That was another thing for me is I want in on the Liverpool attack, and he's the only guarantee. Because my original draft, when I had a 3-4-3, I had Darwin, and then he didn't start their last friendly, and it was just like I'm throwing that out the window. I'm not risk. I've already got a risk with João Pedro now. I don't need another.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't
need
need to keep risking
your forwards not starting.
Yeah. I don't need to keep risking, especially when you've got these weak ass benches as well. You just don't need the risk. That's why João Pedro is like making me nervous. I just don't need the risk. We trusted and trusted.
So we're looking at our strikers. We're looking at all these differentials. Now, certain players, as we're saying, what's more important is about how many minutes they get. So you get into the 80th minute, you get into the 90th minute. Now, the Premier League is bringing in new rules. Rules I've wanted, though I said it early when they did it in the World Cup. They need to bring this into the Premier League. And they're bringing in the new stoppage time rules. It's not, I don't know if does it count as a rule? But now they're counting every second and every minute. And
celebrations,
add it on
everything.
The game.
Yeah.
Everything. They're going to add it on in the game at the end. And I think it's brilliant. Like celebrations, I don't agree with. I feel like that's part of the game. You should leave it. But when teams are wasting time, you have to add it. Or if you want
Newcastle last season, man. Newcastle.
Trust me. Oh, Newcastle. Not even last season. So many years, bro. Like the last 2-3 years, Newcastle knew how
they perfected it. Them and Everton. Pickford and his time wasting is, oh my goodness.
You know what? I know coverage may be long. It's having 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes at the end, but it's only going to be in the beginning. I don't think it's going to last because
teams will cotton on. Yeah, teams will cotton on.
Teams will stop.
Yeah,
teams will stop because at the end of the day,
right.
If you think about it like this, yeah, go on.
You think teams will actually stop, or they'll just do what they always do, which is like,
no.
Like,
I think it will start high, and then as the season goes on, it will slowly start to come down.
So you don't think like the Premier League will just say, "Oh yeah, this is getting ridiculous now." You actually think teams will actually stop?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Teams will stop wasting time because if you think of it, most of the teams that will benefit in general, on an average, forget like always, that are going to benefit from this extra time at the end are the best players.
Yes.
Best players, most stamina, most strength, most depth. That's the top 6.
Yeah.
we're going to benefit the most from this. They're the ones that are gonna find that last minute goal in those 12 minutes. Trossard coming in thinking he's only got 5 minutes. Now he's got 12. He's gonna make a difference. Do you know what I mean? Foden coming in, he's got 13 minutes now. All of a sudden, he thought he had 5. It's going to make a difference. Whereas other teams, once they realize, hold on, you know what? There's no point wasting time.
Yeah, otherwise we've got to face their bench while we're all like
we got everyone's dead. Do I
and
really
Johnny No
play?
Name's on the bench?
No, it doesn't make sense. So eventually it will slow down. So
yeah, I think so.
I think in the beginning, yes, like the whole World Cup, because it's a World Cup, it's a tournament, it's quick, it's fast. You don't think it's gonna carry on. Those minutes were crazy. I feel I saw like 11 minutes at one point.
Yeah.
It didn't slow down, but don't forget how many games is in the World Cup.
Yeah,
for a team, 7, 8 in the knockout stage. In the Prem, it's not going to carry on. After a while, and I seriously, in the beginning, it's going to be mad. There's going to be bare. But after a while, it's just going to stop because so many goals are going to happen because that's when the fans go mad. That last bit. Come
Everyone's
on, you've got 12 minutes. You're losing 1-0. You've got 12 minutes. That's 2 goals. Easy. Like, look at Arsenal today. We scored in the 90-something minute. Like, it can be done. Like, I just think the teams that normally waste time aren't going to bother wasting time. Maybe in the first half. I think maybe in the first half, teams will, continue to do what they do. But I genuinely believe that 1, it's a great thing for the Premier League. And 2, it will stop time wasting. Like, if time is going and there's agile, it's because of actual things in the game. It's not going to be because Pickford decided to move the ball from the left side of his pitch to the right side. Yeah, it's going to be real stoppages, and that's I think they've clocked that. I think the Premier League realized that, and that's a brilliant thing, man. It's brilliant that they're bringing this in for the Prem. I love it. Love it.
It's really refreshing. You both said that. You think it will come down, and I was being cynical and thinking it's because remember what they were doing with the penalties a couple of years ago. Look at the new technology we have, and there were like 15 penalties in like the first 9 games or something like that, dumb, and then they just brought it down. But this way, I was thinking that eventually they're going to think it's getting ridiculous. But that's good. All these teams are going to be like, there's no point pissing around because we're going to get punished for this anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, don't forget as well. It's in the referees now get in trouble if they don't book a player for wasting time. So if a goalkeeper's wasting time or a player kicks the ball away, that's an instant yellow. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with
not after 9 minutes.
Yellow.
Like flipping party.
Yeah, no.
After 9 minutes.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's got to be. Yeah, that was the worst yellow. I was
context,
but I feel like it's got to be in context. Normally, when we say we like these sort of things, the Premier League thinks, "Oh yeah, you thought we were doing this? No, we're doing this," and then they ruin it. They ruining it. But I think they've got it right. This 100%, I like it, man. I do.
Yeah, I think for FPL as well, like this adds to the fact that I don't like having too much money in my defense because you are going to see, especially like as you say, especially at the beginning of the season, we are going to see more goals going in towards the end of halves now. So keeping defenders just based on clean sheets is and spending a lot of money on that is not something I really want to do at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And also, like, if you really deep it, when you're tired and knackered, the art of your position,
that board goes up and it says 10 minutes.
14 minutes.
No, come on, man.
if you really deep it, Law, you're a defender, right? I was a striker. When I see 10 minutes coming off a board, I'm like, all right, cool. I can do something in that 10 minutes. When you see 10 minutes coming, what are you thinking?
It's 10 more minutes of concentration.
10 more concentration.
10 more minutes. Yeah.
10 more minutes of concentration. Whereas a striker or an attacker is like, ooh, 10 more minutes, I can do something. Whereas a defender is like, ooh, I got to focus for 10 more minutes. And sometimes, like, no matter how good the defender is, you're going to make that mistake. A striker could be so off the ball and duff a shot, and it will still tinker into the goal.
Yeah, at this level as well.
That mistake, that could be an own goal. That could just it could be anything. Like
At this level as well, it's millimeters. So that
Yeah.
extra 10 minutes makes a huge difference because of that
Yeah.
level of exhaustion or tiredness
Yeah.
or that
Yeah,
lack
yeah,
in
yeah.
concentration. It only takes millimeters or a second for
Mhm.
an elite player to make something happen.
Are you saying, 12 minutes, Salah's gonna do something? Are you saying, 12 minutes? I can't think of the best defender in the league right now, but I will say Van Dijk, ignoring the last season. Van Dijk is going to defend for 12 minutes. You're not thinking like that. You're thinking someone's going to do damage in these 12 minutes. Something's going to happen in that 12 minutes. It's
a momentum swing both ways, actually. Yeah, I think it's an injection to attackers that even if they're tired, they're like, oh my God, I got 10 minutes to do something. And I think with the defenders, it works the opposite of, oh man, like 9 bloody minutes, it kind of extinguishes maybe a little bit of, kind of the positivity they had before, because it's like, all right, we all need to focus now. And if anything, everyone will drop back more. So yeah, totally. It makes it brilliant for offensive players.
Yeah. You look at it the other way around, you see 2-3 minutes, a striker's head goes down. I can't do much in 2-3 minutes. A defender, 2-3 minutes. Yeah, I could block that out for 2-3 minutes. I could focus for 2-3 minutes. Like they're slowly starting to make sure this game gets better. The only thing they're missing, The only thing they're missing is that VAR. They need to put that screen. I love that
semi-automatic.
Offside.
It's
desperate.
Yeah,
it's desperate. Yeah.
How much do you think you guys are changing your teams before the end of the season? Before the game starts on Friday?
I reckon it could change potentially to a 4 at the back. João Pedro could change. Madison and Eze could change. So I've still got some. The rest of it's pretty much set, but those situations are definitely on the table still.
Right?
Yeah. I think I'm almost there, about 80%. But the thing is that 20% is either 4-4-2 or 3-5-2. I think
that's a good move in terms of just formation, really.
Yeah,
for me,
and just how much Salah is still playing on my mind. He holds the keys as always.
How much you fear? How much you fear him?
Oh yeah.
Yes. To be honest with me, I think I'm set. It's basically Isaac or another striker. Apart from that, I'm sorted. And you guys didn't poke any holes in it, so.
Well, I think
it works.
Went for Bruno over Rashford. Am I correct?
Yeah, both of us did. Yeah.
Really interesting.
My main reason for that is that although Rashford, I'm not saying he doesn't get returns on the wing. Just I think Bruno's a better option now that they have a dedicated striker. I think that on its own made Bruno for me the better option.
Who was injured? Who was injured, by the way?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What was it? Hoyland, as Nat said last week, isn't it? Hoyland. So yeah.
Hoyland. Have you guys bought a goalkeeper?
Yeah, Vicario.
I don't know who that is.
Yes. And he's 4.5.
He's 5, I think.
Is he?
I don't think he's 4. Yeah, I don't think he's 4.5. I think he came in at 5. Yeah.
Is he starting to get? Is he going to be a starter?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely a starting keeper.
Oh wow.
He's
4.5. Wait, I need to check that.
No, he's not. He's 5.
He's 5.
Oh, you checked Law's check. Law's like, no.
Before we get into probably the funnest segment, community questions, one thing I like about your selection of Fernandes over Rashford, I don't think it matters what kind of block they face. Fernandes will still get on the ball and still look dangerous, in my opinion. Rashford, it's so opposition-based, isn't it? If someone's going to play a high line, he's devastating. But if they're going to sit back and he's playing as a number 9, which I think he'll start the season as.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Then how much of a explosive threat will he be against teams with a low block? I think Bruno is the main man. I think Mount is going to allow him to even be more offensive because Mount's got a better engine than Eriksen, in my opinion.
And he said himself, well, he should do because Eriksen is how old now and Mount is how old. But Rashford said himself he prefers to play on the wing. He said he hasn't got the patience or the concentration to be a striker, number 9 striker, waiting for that one opportunity that comes every so often rather than not being in the game, which he prefers on the wing.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Let's have a look at these questions, man.
Yes, it's awesome. to get some community questions again. RJ, we'll go straight to you.
All right, Salah or no Salah?
From Akib.
From
FPL
at
underscore
FPL
Akib
underscore
48.
Akib at 48. I'm sorry, we got to go
Yeah.
Salah. For me, got to go Salah.
Yeah, for me, it's Salah. But I understand the no Salah teams. I mean, the teams you can create without him, they look fantastic. So I understand it. But for me personally, I'm going with Salah.
Let me add on to that. For me, remember we keep saying about you can cover down, but look at all the research you put into your team. Are you going to be changing every single game week? Are you game week 1, game week 2, game week 3? Are you going to be making changes every single game week, or are you going to let your team play out? Because essentially, you put this team together for the next 3 or 4 game weeks, right? So why would you be worried about having Salah or not? Because maybe you're trying to make a lot of changes. I don't think it's going to be needed.
Agree.
So if that's the case, if you work a team with Salah in it, I mean, why not? And if there's an issue, rather than you just tinkering, oh, someone's on a great form, someone's on a looks really good in this position. You got all this money now with Salah, whereas other people, it's more okay. If I have 8 million here, that million there, I'm gonna have to move this person, move that person, move this person, and move this. I just think it makes life a lot harder without Salah. And like I said, if I look at my team, I see a balance in my team that with Salah, it works amazing. And if I need to change things later, I can do it.
Wait, so Frey?
Yeah, I think RJ summarized it really well. We've done weeks of research, hours of, viewing and stuff like that. And, you guys know me, I'm more of combinations. I look at combinations and stuff like that. Like if I go without Salah, I have to be brave, if that makes sense. I can see Salah getting a return against Chelsea and do really well. But of course, because it's Mohamed Salah, he's, for me, in my all-time 11, as a footballer, as an FPL, that's it. He's unbelievable. But, if I'm going to not go for him, then I have to stick to it, even if he returns against Chelsea.
Yeah,
I just have
exactly.
to.
Exactly.
Because what I'm doing here, while you're doing Salah and Pedro law, for example, I am doing Martinelli and Rashford. So that's the way I need to treat it. I need to treat it that I'm bringing in an Arsenal and Man U additional attacker while you're going for Mohamed Salah and Pedro, for example. They're actually similarly priced as a combo. So I have to stick to that mentality because if you do that, then either way you go, if you go with Salah or without Salah, you need to stick to it. Does that make sense? Like if Salah doesn't perform against Chelsea, even against Bournemouth, if he only gets an assist or something like that, or just the one goal, if the fixtures and the style of football is still there, because I think Liverpool are going to be crazy this season offensively, because they've got no one to protect the defense at the moment. That you got to stick to the guy. You've got to stick to him or not stick with him. Right now, I'm 70-30 to not have him, but I tell you what, your drafts look fantastic, and that's with Salah. You don't look weak. Does that make sense?
On Arkim's question, he's also got Onana or Onana. And we saw him eating net in the preseason. Yeah, I said it, eating net. He was eating net, man. All the pictures don't look good, man. I don't know if it was his fault, but he was eating net.
I think that might be a tactic now, that players are going to go for those halfway shots because keepers are so high now. They did it on Ramsdale as well, didn't it? Was it Rodri?
Yep. But that's a sweeper keeper, isn't it? That's just part of it. That's how it goes.
Someone asked the question, I wish I remember who it was, but it did make me ponder about Onana, which was that if they never bought him and De Gea was still their number one, would you have De Gea in goal?
Same price?
Yeah.
Same price.
If I had money, I would.
Yeah,
I would. Yeah.
I think if your answer to that is no, then you probably don't.
Why have you got no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would have. To be honest, I'd probably have De Gea over Onana. If we had to choose between both of them, and both of them were going to start the game, in two other sides, but both 5 million, I'd pick De Gea.
Agree, because shot stopping, he's got amazing shot stopping.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Yeah, man. But for United, defensively, they're strong, man. Even if it was Henderson, I would have taken Henderson as well. I do like United's goalkeeper option. It's just I prefer Steele at the moment, but I don't think Onana's a bad shout at
No.
all. I don't think him conceding that goal is a bad shout because guys like rave about Ramsdale, and Ramsdale's the same goalkeeper that conceded that goal from the halfway line against Sporting Lisbon. It happens. Goalkeepers concede goals like this. Like Ronaldinho did it to David Seaman. It happens, man. I think there's goalkeepers that scored against other goalkeepers. Like Robinson scored against. It happens.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it happens. So if you can get him into your draft without messing up your team, it's not a bad shout, man. It's not at all. He's a very good shot stopper.
Agree. Next question. Last season's only one bonus point mini league winner and guest last week who absolutely smashed it. FPL potato, but in brackets, bloody excellent at this, and I just laugh so much.
You keep changing it. It's all a form of how good he is at this game. I love it.
Hell yeah.
So if you were a toe, which toe would you be? Also, Nketiah, a good choice or an accident waiting to happen? I want to jump in real quick. First of all, I'll be the big toe. All about stability and that. Secondly, Nketiah, for me, an accident waiting to happen. Not because I don't think Nketiah can get points, but only because Jesus will be back. And you bring in Nketiah, and things we said earlier, Nketiah's all about rotation risk. You have to find a way to get rid of him afterwards.
You're booking in a transfer, basically. That's how I see it.
It becomes a problem quickly.
Yeah. And if I was a toe, I'm a big toe.
Of course, stability, bro. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I had a couple of screenshots of teams, and Nketiah was in it because, like, oh yeah, of course, Nketiah. But then that was when I thought Jesus was out for 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, with Trossard around, with Martinelli around, it's an accident waiting to happen. So
yeah, it might have been a different story if he started today. It might have been a different story if he started today, but because he hasn't, it's nothing. And I
to be honest, I knew he wouldn't.
guys.
I was just worried about I knew he wasn't going to start, but I just expected Trossard to start. So the fact that Trossard didn't start worries me even more. Because you'd say, Trossard, because Trossard, the way he plays, all right, cool, I get why Nketiah's had to hold the bench. But the fact that Trossard didn't start either, it's like, he's down the pecking order. So
the versatility is next level right now. So happy. Okay, now this is a big one. So this is from Blue-Footed Booby, Kieran, at FPL_BF Booby. Right.
Wait, do you have a problem saying boobies?
No, it's more the question.
Sure?
Given with 1 hour Chelsea asset mainly to attack game week 3+, are there any attacking options worth considering? Jackson nailed, unless Vlahovic signs. We spoke about before. Sterling is Sterling, Nkunku injured. Am I crazy in thinking Mudryk could be puntable now, or just go without until Nkunku is back? So, Lawes, it's all about Chelsea assets, really.
Yeah. I think, like we touched on before, I think Jackson is nailed, as you said, unless Vlahovic signs. If they don't sign another striker, then I wouldn't be against looking at Jackson. My only caveat to that is that we've not seen him in the Premier League. We've only seen him in pre-season friendlies.
Also, he's young,
and he's young. But I do think that he would lead the line if they don't sign another striker. Yeah. I think he leads the line.
My issue as well is that I've seen him, done a lot of research on him, but it was in tandem with Nkunku. That's my issue. Like with Nkunku, they looked awesome. There was a link up there. Jackson would drop deep sometimes, and Nkunku would run off him. But most of the time, Nkunku was playing the false 9 or number 10, which is his best position. And Jackson was running. He was either running off the shoulder brilliantly or running, down the channels to create space. Without Nkunku, we have no idea how he's going to play. So, for the time being, the only asset we all have is Chilwell. And I'm like, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm like 100% going to have Chilwell now. Season. I'm so confident. But at the moment, he'd probably be my only guy. Otherwise, Nkunku was probably the perfect Jesus replacement, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I said before, when Jesus got injured and Nkunku went straight in my team, he was like the next one. Even though he's not playing the Prem, which is like against one of my rules, but I was willing. I thought it was actually gonna do really well for them. So hopefully he's back soon.
So I like what Blue-Footed Booby is basically saying. the smart thing is to really go without until Nkuku is back, based on the whole thing. But that Mudrik's out, I really do like it. Seriously, like he's such a good player, on the ball, technically gifted. I just think now, like I feel like a lot was playing in his head with that transfer, whether he came to Arsenal or he came to Chelsea or not. Like I feel like a lot of it was pressure on him and disappointment. But now, new season, they are now a lot of players. They're not all like just random players. They've all played together now. I think he's one of those players that's going to step up a lot. Now, a punt, he's what, 6.5 million?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, but the
is it a
players
bad
much.
one?
No.
But for
I
me,
think
he's
so,
someone you can
because of
move
all
to
those
rather than
players.
someone you start with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Eze,
Yeah.
Mbeumo, and who's the other popular one? Matoma.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
The thing as well is that
So-
is even guaranteed to start right now because Maatsen has looked excellent.
No, he's going to start over him. He will. But I think it goes to what he said. It's just go without until Nkuku is back.
Yeah,
Because
I think
of
so.
just all these variables. Just because there's so many variables. But I do think, like, put Mudryk on your watch list because I feel we're going to see a very different player. Very different.
Pochettino's the football they're going to play is going to be a lot different.
I think we need to watch
definitely.
out for Chelsea. Seriously, I think we really need to watch out for Chelsea. Everyone's written them off, but this is what Chelsea do. They disappear for a few years, a couple years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then randomly
win the
they
league.
just come out of nowhere.
They literally just win the league after that. It's mad.
Yeah,
It's actually mad.
Yeah, and we forget about every single time.
Such a
Like,
yo-yo.
I'm not, like Chelsea, I'm not doing it. I'm not, like they're there. So yeah, for me, go without until Nkuku's back and see. But really, can't really go without because Chilwell is up there. Chilwell's there. I'm looking at Stones. I'm like, Chilwell's coming for your neck. You know what I mean? So
Guys, Colwill. A lot of people have had Colwill in their team because they literally don't have any other defenders right now. They got Thiago and Colwill, Badashile and Fofana's out for ages.
Yeah,
like Colwill at
As
4.5
always.
million.
could be a shout.
Colwill at
Definitely.
4.5 million. If you didn't have Chilwell and you really wanted a Chelsea guy, would you go for Colwill or would you rather go for like Henry to start the season?
I think I'd take the punt on Colwell, over the other 4.5 options. I don't feel like the 4.5s are really strong this season.
Not like last season, yeah.
No,
not like
not
the
like
last
last
couple of
season,
years,
yeah.
no.
And Botman has terrible fixtures. initially.
All right, so on to the next question. Oledi Pupo _ Raji. Pickford or Steele? I think this is an easy one. Steele.
I'm saying Pickford. I'm going Pickford.
I understand the still, but for me,
get out of this place, both of you, man.
It's the still.
Rugen's going to be number one in Game Week 2, bro.
Are you having still instead of Stupinan?
No.
That's the thing. Like that's the thing. That's like the caveat. If you're having still and not having a Stupinan, then I wouldn't go for that. If you're doing still and a Stupinan, I kind of prefer Pickford in the Stupinan just because you've got the difference rather than X in one basket like we were talking about before.
Why is it also against doubling up on
defense?
Same defense.
It's the same as it's the same as doubling up on the midfield for me. It's the exact same reasoning.
No,
yeah.
Man.
Well,
it's the exact same
reasoning. And I just don't think. Yeah, I don't think Brighton are good defensively.
Understand?
Because of how expansive they are. You know what's really funny about them? They haven't. Caicedo for me will definitely go. I always thought it. They haven't actually replaced him with another CDM. Gilmore and Dahu seem to be in their first team. Both brilliant players, but not CDMs, not breakers.
With Brighton, you never know what's going to happen, boy. They just
so
pluck out someone from their youth team. It's essentially amazing.
So adding that extra caveat on, if you have a stupid or not, is Pickford or Steele?
Still Pickford for me.
Steele's got Luton, Wolves, West Ham. Who's wait, hold on. And then it's West Ham, Newcastle, Man United, Bournemouth, and then Aston Villa. That's their first 7 games. And if I go to draft time now, what is Pickford got? Pickford from an awful
Wolves, Sheffield United.
Everton team. Yeah, they'll probably get beat by all of those teams.
One of us had an
Everton are
Everton
so-
defender in our team of the season last year.
Yeah, he's injured as well, Tarkowski. That's also another point.
That's a good point.
He's actually
Yeah,
injured.
best defender's injured.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am definitely going for versus to Steele rather than Pickford.
Brighton's number 2.
I think the answer is Flecken. The answer is Flecken, mate.
What's it? Fulham, Villa, Wolves, Sheffield United, Arsenal, Brentford, Luton. Eesh.
The answer is actually
If
Flecken.
you-
4.5 keeper. Brentford's gonna play. He's got Spurs, Fulham, Palace, Bournemouth, Everton, Forest, Newcastle.
Reyes coming to Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah. But mate, Brentford fumbled the bag on that, man. They fumbled the bag. Spurs were offering them 30 million at the beginning of the transfer window, and they were like, "Nah, we want 40."
even more. Apparently it was 40 million. Close
No,
to
they
sound
wanted
better.
40.
Oh,
They
wow.
wanted
sound
40, and
You
then
sound
no,
better.
I'm blessed. They wanted 40, and then so we were like, you keep your 40, we'll go get someone else, and now they're getting 20 million. Fumbled the bag.
25 plus
okay,
add-ons.
25 instead of 30
Plus add-ons. Plus add-ons.
That's a bag
25
fumble
plus
from Brentford.
Happy days.
Do you think Raya starts over Ramsdale?
Nah.
Eventually.
But I think,
You
but
think
I do
eventually?
think I do think he's a better keeper.
Yeah, I think he's a better keeper
I
as
like Ramsdale, but Ray's a better keeper.
Yeah.
We might
Ramsdale, even today, I saw it. He makes
Yeah, go ahead.
some silly decisions. Like he just makes these mistakes sometimes, and I don't know why. And his they talk about his distribution. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes he just takes that extra touch or that extra few seconds before he throws the pass in. It's like, oh my god, like get there, flipping get there. Or is
I think
Raya?
we could
I don't
see.
know. If we see on the spotlight, we'll see.
Yeah, I think we could. I would not be surprised if we did what Enrique did with Barcelona, where Claudio Bravo played all the Champions League games when they won the treble, and Ter Stegen played all the league games. I wouldn't mind that at all. I would not mind that at all because, Raya will get a minimum. I'd be confident to say 10 to 12 cup stroke UCL games. And then obviously maybe the odd Premier League game. Or vice versa, for example.
Yeah,
I actually advocate that, but I think eventually Ryle will be number 1 because he's better.
Simply better. Yeah.
I think he's going to show it. Yeah, and I also think we'll have the best goalkeeper combination in the league. So I just
with
definitely
it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Yeah, man. So, fellas, I think that's us. This episode, we've covered everything. You're not gonna see our teams before the deadline is done. Ray, what time is the deadline? Is it 6:30?
Yes,
6:30 Friday. 6:30 on Friday, guys. Get your teams done. Get your teams done.
Get done by
Make sure you get
6.
your teams done. Get by 6. Don't leave it longer than that. Don't
we're
forget
gonna get the Man City leak though, yeah? You know that, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get look out for the Man City leak on Twitter, and that's why you gotta be early because your fantasy team you ain't gonna be able to log into Fantasy Premier League. So be ready for that. It's gonna shut down, guys. It's been a pleasure.
It has.
Beautiful, guys.
We'll catch you guys next week. Before I forget, guys, make sure you add up on the mini league. It's down here. It's been coming through the video the whole time. Make sure you join the mini league. There's gonna be some exciting stuff throughout the season. And cuz remember this badge.
What for?
You're gonna be nowhere near us.
What for?
Absolutely nowhere near us.
Yeah, we're on a rebuild. So I'm calm. Again, you come ahead of us once in the last 7 years. Again.
One.
Typical Arsenal fan. Bro.
Yeah, but no.
Arsenal fan.
Do you not see what happened though? In that 7 years, that season was better than anything you
I'll
did.
take this off.
Anything you did. You know, like you lot just dead in it. Just
and you were worse. Yeah, you were worse.
That 1 year we did better than anything you did in those 7 years.
You did. What did you do? Nothing but bottle a league.
Is that what you got? Bottled the league.
What did you do?
What did you build? In those 7 years. In those 7 years of your best football.
This is my exact point.
In your best football, that you've ever played in your history of a club. What did you
That's
do?
not true. That's not true. First of all,
What did you do? What did you do?
that's not true. First of all,
What did you
and
do?
second of all, you come ahead of us 1 year.
What
And
did
you're
you
talking
do?
like you've won the league. You didn't do anything.
No, hold on.
You didn't do anything.
If you want to talk like that, you said 1 year. Bloody hell, mate. We're talking about
Yeah,
history.
1 year, one in what, 7?
1 year.
And the
Right,
way you're talking
1
is if
year.
it happened
All right,
every year for the last 6 years.
You're talking about the last 7 years. All right, great. Let's
Yeah.
talk about centuries.
Okay, then. So you want to go now further back? All right.
Yeah. No, let's do history. Let's do history of football. Yeah. Let's talk about 7 years. Who uses it? You know what? No, you're not gonna drag me. You're not gonna drag me into this.
Mhm.
I will tear your singlet. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, guys. I love y'all.
You can follow us on Twitter at only one bonus point with the number 1. Law, give us your handle, please.
Mine is at only1_law.
RJ, sir.
Mine is at _only1 RJ.
And I'm at Ray_Cure. Don't forget to email us only1bonuspoint@gmail.com with the number 1. You can find us on anywhere where you can get your podcasts. Come on, guys. We got Spotify, we got Podbean, we got Apple Store, we got. Do Amazon have it? Amazon Music.
Amazon have got it.
Yep.
And you can watch us
Listen.
on YouTube.
Law, Ray. I'll see you guys in the season. I'll talk to you guys probably Friday evening. But for now, we have been your hosts. My name is RJ.
I'm Law.
And I'm Ray.
Thanks everyone for listening. And we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.